Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It's Shelby, and as you can see, I have a special guest here with Tyler. We'll let him introduce himself in a minute. Sibby couldn't make it. She'll be back next week, hopefully, but there is so much that happened this week, y'all, that we just felt like we couldn't skip the week, and that we had to find a way to do it. And Tyler is a big person we've been trying to get on the show for a while, a fun student at Texas Tech that does a lot of cool marketing things for the school and the teams, so it was the perfect person to get on here. But what are we going to talk about today, Tyler? We have Texas Tech soccer. Top 25 again in their rightful spots.
Yes.
After going
Back
2 and
in it.
0. Yes, back in it. After going 2 and 0 this week, including wins over Utah and at the time number 12 Oklahoma State on the road. Macy Blackburn is officially goated as the assist queen, which is wild. She did it in 2.5 years, which it's just
Crazy.
insane. We have fun little
Yes.
videos from Tom talking about her, the team celebrating it. We'll get into that. Volleyball went down to Miami, learned some things, gave both Miami and Arkansas top 25 teams, pushed them a little bit, learned some things, and now they get ready for a tough Big 12 stretch that starts on Thursday. And football, dare I say it, football might be growing. Are they growing up on us, Tyler? I don't
I
know.
think they are. I think they are. I
I'm
think they are.
hopeful. I'm
Yes.
hopeful.
Me
That
too.
1-0 in Big 12 play and have a wear black game on Saturday night that y'all can get
Yep.
ready for. So that's what we're going to get into, all that stuff. Maybe a little bit of a softball non-con scheduled teaser, as it says over there, towards the end. But first, if you're watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching, please hit follow or subscribe. That's how it keeps us going, y'all. We're committed to keeping this as free content so as many people can learn about this as possible. Check out our website. We've been putting out a lot of stories lately, recaps, recruiting notes on different sports, on softball, on soccer, have been getting big-time recruits. You can see that seeing-scarlet.com. It'll be there. Hopefully we'll have one coming out tomorrow on volleyball, preview of Big 12 play, and so on and so forth. So appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate the support. But let's get into it. And first, Tyler, let them know who you are, because this man is a legend. He's one of the students at Texas Tech over the last couple of years that we've had the pleasure of getting to know and kind of watching him grow into this role that he has now as the president of the Scarlet Stampede. And he's a marketing intern now with the athletic department. Him and Erica, who's been on the show before, they've been two of our little student soldiers, and we've appreciated watching them do what they do. They do great work. And so we've been wanting to get him on the show, and this made all the sense in the world to do it this week when we needed someone to step up in Sibby's place and carry the vibes for us. Tyler's going to do that, but introduce yourself. Tyler, let him know who you are.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for all the kind words and for having me on the show. Definitely not going to be Civi level tonight, but we're going to do a good job.
Nobody
But
can be Sibby level, so it's okay.
right.
She is wonderful.
Yeah. Yes, but hi, Red Raider Nation. My name is Tyler Lester. I am a marketing student at Texas Tech University. I am the president of the Scarlet Stampede, which is Texas Tech's first official student section for Lady Raider basketball, kind of like Raider Riot. And then I'm also a Tech Athletic Ambassador, and you may or may not see me on the field or on the court at games dealing with all fan engagement and promotions. I absolutely love this university. I've wanted to go here my whole life, and now I'm fulfilling that dream. So thank y'all again for having me on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm trying to share this over on Facebook, but so I'm not ignoring you, I promise. But yeah,
You're good. You're
Tyler's
good.
been great, and if you've seen all the kind of the push to get more people to Lady Raider games, to get more people to soccer games, we're gonna let him talk about some fun initiatives that they have coming up with the Scarlet Stampede takeover, even at soccer. They don't just do Lady Raider stuff; they take over other sports, and he's been a big part of that, both with the Scarlet Stampede and, like he said, with the marketing department now. Tyler has a very bright future, and I'm very, very excited to know that someone like Tyler is going to go out into the sports marketing world and actually care about all sports. I can tell he's going to make a big
Yes.
impact, so keep crushing it, Tyler.
Thank you. Yes, I will. And y'all keep crushing it too. Y'all are doing, that's how I found y'all, because I was like, I
That's
need
true.
someone to talk about this with. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
They've always existed. There's always been people that's been watching soccer and all these sports. We just didn't have a place to hang out and talk. So now we
Right.
do. And
Right.
that's why Singing Scully is pretty fun. So let's talk about it. So soccer, it's heat of soccer season. So we always start with them. And they played 2 games this week and 2 huge games this week. And the first one was at home. Did you get to go?
Yes, I
All
did get to go.
right.
I had to show up at the second half, but
That's
it
fair.
was our highest attended game of the season at 875 people. Round of
Good
applause.
work.
Round of
Good
applause.
work. Let's double that and pass it to the next or whatever they say for the next game, but I like it.
Yes.
Progress. That's good. Big time. Yeah, so we'll get the vibe report from Tyler throughout, but that maybe it's your fault we didn't score in the first half then. Tyler wasn't there, so
Yeah,
we
I know.
apologize to the gals. If you're listening, you can blame this guy. But he showed up in the second half and they got 2 goals. But we'll show the highlights in a minute. But I just thought the team showed a lot of maturity, and I think even Coach Stone said that after the game that he was kind of proud of their maturity in this game because we were texting with Sibby back and forth as we do. Y'all would have to pay for those text chains during the game, but and we were like, yeah, it's a young team. We just didn't know how they were going to react in a game where they were dominating it really, and they were dominating possession. You weren't there in the first half, but let me just tell you, they were dominating this game. They held the ball pretty much the whole time. But Utah
Yes.
has a really good keeper actually, and a good back line and good defense, and they were kind of keeping everybody back, and we were just having to kind of piece through it, and we just couldn't break through, right? And we had one really good chance
Right.
at a goal, and they got a deflection on it, and we missed it, and so you could get frustrated, right? They could have gotten frustrated, and I was
Exactly.
starting to worry, like, okay, we're deep into the second half, even like, oh no, okay, are we gonna get frustrated? I don't even know why
Right.
I questioned it. Always trust Texas Tech soccer. Skylar
Yes.
Hazy, a sophomore, broke through with a banger of a goal. You're going to see she's been spectacular this year. I mean, such a boost. Like all these people we just didn't expect or didn't know were going to make these impacts. She's been a big one. And then another sophomore in Chloe Soto broke through after that to get her first career goal. And Caitlin Giametta-Bug had an assist on that one. She had a great game. And then, of course, our defense has just really stepped it up. We talked about TCU last week. They were really stout getting that draw at TCU, and they were really stout in this one, and kept Utah off the board the few times they had chances, and gave us a chance to get those late goals and get the win. So that's kind of the overall takeover. We'll show the highlights, but if you have any thoughts, go for it, Tyler.
I know. I think that this team is starting to be the Red Raider soccer that we all know and love. Just 5 saves or 3 saves for Faith. That was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely incredible. And she's just dominating at the goalie position. I know we had some question as to who would do that, and she is the perfect person for that spot. And defense has been incredible.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's not even a shot at Faith to say people were wondering how the goalkeeping would go this year. You had the same person in goal for
Right.
5 years in Madison White, who holds the record for shutouts. So that's a fair question mark. But she's come in and she's a different type of keeper, and she's really athletic. You'll see that in the highlights, especially in the Oklahoma State highlights where she was under a little bit more pressure. And she's just super athletic and has her own style and flair to it. So we'll get into the highlights, but first, I don't know if you're still in here, but I just saw this comment from, I don't know if you know who this is. Do you know who this is, Tyler? This is Bentley Farrell, the great, the one, the
Not.
only Big Cat's dad. He's a big fan of the show. You're a big
Oh,
fan of Big
yes, Big
Cat.
Cat. Okay.
So he'll see this
Awesome.
eventually, whether he's in here now or rewatches it, so you can give him a hey. But good people, Bentley. Appreciate it. Hi from Plano. Also the home of
Howdy.
both Hannah Anderson and Peyton Annan, who's on the squad this year, is Plano. Peyton did not play in this game, so she did get a little beat up in TCU, but Molly Skrzyncki does what she does. She can go wherever we need her. She played as a center back, it seemed like, in this game in her place and did the dang thing. So no worries there. And then Peyton returned in the Oklahoma State game. So let's show these highlights and just vibe through them, show the people what's going on.
It's made its way to West Texas.
Jeff.
Welcome everybody to John Walker Soccer Complex for the home opener, Big 12 wise for Texas Tech. You see the conference records there. The visitors from Salt Lake City.
Yeah, Utah came into this game. They had just beaten Arizona, I believe. So they started off Big 12 play with a win. And they actually played BYU last night and almost tied them. BYU
Wow.
got a late goal to win that one 2-1. But Utah's a solid team for sure. So to dominate them the way we did was impressive. Here's one of our early chances. Soto takes a hack there.
Takes the shot wide left.
Oh, that was a good look. That was a good
That was
look.
a good look. That was a good look. This is our best look in the first half.
It's going to go over.
Ah.
Yeah, that was the one where Cassie just got tripped up a little bit and they deflected it off off target. But first of all, this ball from Macy Blackburn. This is why Macy Blackburn is the greatest to ever do what she does. Do y'all see this ridiculous ball? How deep she hits that, and how perfect it was. Like that Texas goal flashbacks, you know what I mean? And then Cassie Taylor gets gets her head on it, great little ball over, and then she has a chance to finish it. We just aren't able to, but that was
so close.
You can't hate on it. That was probably our best chance of the first half, and I would have loved to see Cassie get that, because I'm hoping she gets Big 12 Defender of the Week. I'm pushing for it. But that's a stat award, and it's hard to give center back stats if they don't sneak up there and get a goal. But I think she deserves it anyway. But we'll see. I think that.
Yes, 100%. We'll start a movement.
I think it comes out tomorrow. So if you're listening to Big 12,
okay,
hit us up.
And it is in the books.
Now we're at halftime, 0-0. And this is where it could get nervy. But they didn't.
Rid of it and cradled by Faith Wynn.
No sweat.
Faith. Yep, no sweat.
That was easy money.
Sidewinding and releasing over left. This is Russo.
Am I insane, or did this just jump back too?
I think it jumped back a little bit.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I don't think we did that. That's just in the highlights. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
They got their clips out of order, but it's fine. This was Utah's best chance, and we got a little lucky. Let's be honest, we got a little lucky here. She hit the crossbar. Faith lost a shoe, went out for the ball and just missed it, and then I think
I was sitting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I know. I was sitting behind Coach Stone, and when she came up, he was like, "No, Faith, no!" And then and she saved the ball, and then he was like, "Oh!" It was like everyone was cheering.
He said something after the TCU game, like, "Yeah, she can be in a bit of an adventure sometimes. She takes some chances, but that's just how she plays, and most of the time it works out for her." That one almost got us, but luckily that's soccer. Just like we missed that really close one, and they got a little lucky in the first half that we didn't make that goal in the first half. We got a little lucky that she didn't put that on target, because I think that's their leading goal scorer, one of the leading goal scorers in the Big 12, and she just hit the crossbar. And if they make that, all of a sudden, I'm not saying we don't come back to win, because we're us. But they're able to drop everybody back, and it's going to be a lot harder because they have a lead, and they just need to waste 20 minutes. And
it's a mental game from there. Yes.
Yeah, but that's the game. That's soccer. And there's
oh, dang, insane. I
hope they show the back angle of this. If not, go find the one the team posted. Just beautiful. Just beautiful, Skylar. I mean, we knew who you were. I think here we go. Watch this. First of all, Bug, Caitlin Giametta has been on one this week. That's another goal. We'll get to it in a minute. But if we'll go back to this one, Skylar Hazy, I think we said in the preseason, getting to know the players thing, she didn't play a lot last year, and we were like, well, she's from Colorado, so she must be good. That's all you need to know. And we've talked about it before, but she spent her summer playing for a summer league team to get some minutes in, and she scored 10 or 11 goals in that summer league, and she's just carried that right in. And I'm sure the team knew that Skylar was going to contribute this year, but I don't think fans knew what we were about to get with Skylar Hazy, and she's just been clutch. And this goal matters a lot. So we're like, remember this goal when we get to Oklahoma State, because the fact that she put this on tape and she shot it from here and made it from here matters a lot in the Oklahoma State game, because of the way they jump out on her, and it creates space for us to score a goal. So I've been really impressed with her. So, I mean, that is just absurd. Even the keeper's like, what am I supposed to do?
I know.
What am I supposed to do?
I mean, the whole entire place blew up. It was insane. Crazy.
Yeah,
we needed that.
You gotta give us the vibe report. I bet everybody was a little bit nervous before that, and then just
yes.
And now here's Caitlin Giametta, nickname Bug. She's been great this week. She had 2 assists on the week and 1 goal. This is one of those assists. Just a perfect ball into Chloe Soto.
Giametta toes it beautifully.
And this keeper makes another great save. Easy money from there. And that's her first career goal for Chloe Soto, who does a lot of the dirty work for this team. If you watch this team and you really love soccer, it's about watching the build up and the whole field. And Chloe's one of those players that plays end to end, and she's always, aggressive, going after headers, aggressive tackling, doing whatever the team needs. So I always appreciate it when players like that finally get to get a goal chance, and to get her
Yes.
first career goal is big time for Chloe. So we're big Chloe fans. I know Sibby was excited. She is the president of Chloe Soto's fan club. That's her running joke.
Oh,
Has
okay.
been since
Yes.
last year, and so I know she was excited about that one.
Yes. Very good. Great goal.
Utah comes up short.
And that was the
And
end.
within
Texas with a
3
victory.
minutes too. Like it
Red
was
Raiders.
very
Yeah.
back to back almost. Like it was insane
It's funny
to
you say
seal
that
it.
because at halftime I was like, this game kind of reminds me. I was texting City. I was like, this game kind of reminds me of the Oklahoma game last year. I don't know if you got to go to
Oh,
that at home. It was after we had just
yes.
beaten Texas and Baylor on the road, and we came back and we're like ranked in the top 15, and we're just playing great soccer, right? And so Oklahoma played a lot of people back, and they were playing this real defensive style, and they were like, "Hey, you're just not going to score. Like, we're just not going to let you do that. Sorry." And so it was 0-0 at half, and then we came out in the second half, and we scored two very quick goals off of a Macy corner to Hannah, and then we got a PK. I think Alex drew a PK, and Macy finished the PK. And all of a sudden, we were up 2-0, and then we won the game. So it's funny.
Yes.
The game ended up finishing in a similar manner, just different goals than that. And that's how it goes. So credit to them for being mature and
Utah
finishing it out.
0.
Because for a young
This one
team,
is in the books.
you could have gotten frustrated. But, I mean, that's just Texas Tech.
Exactly.
Hard
They just
fought,
Yeah.
been there,
physical
done that,
matchup
right? You have
between
players
two
like Macy and
teams
Elise
that have
and
a bright future.
Cassie that have been here for so long. Ashley, those young players can look to them and just keep going. I think that's like
Yes.
the difference between like this program and some others on campus that are working to get to this level is like, yeah, they've had injuries and stuff, but it's a program. We say that a lot on here about this team and this program. It's just a program, and it's kind of built in, and it doesn't necessarily matter who's out there. Of course, you'd love to have Sam Courtright out there. Let's not kid ourselves. Of course, you'd love
Right.
to have Kylie Barr out there. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's a system, and the next person steps in there, and even the young ones see these fifth-year seniors, these even just standard fourth-year seniors. Like, they don't have to, like, stress a lot because they, like, know, hey, they know
Right.
what they're doing. I'm just going to do my job, and they're going to do it, and then we're going to be fine. It's just that trust in a program that you get when you've been here for 18 years that allows you to overcome some of the adversity they have this year. A lot of time left in the season and things to go, but I've been really proud of them. And I was telling someone today, like, we're about to show the Oklahoma State game, which was huge, but I was like, man, last year was such a special season, but this year is really shaping up to be just as special for a completely different reason. You know what I mean? Just the
Really
game plan
is.
and the journey
Yes,
of it
I
has been
agree.
really cool.
The leadership in this Utah game was just incredible. Like in the toughest moments of the game, fans didn't know, like, is this going to end in a draw? Like, how's this going to go? And then we just came right off the bat when the last few minutes, and the leaders stepped up, and we just decided, hey, you know what? Let's get this Big 12 win. So
Yeah.
incredible game. Incredible game. Love to see it.
Love to see it. And so then that was the last time that y'all were going to get to see them in person for a while, right? Unfortunately. They're on a bit of a road swing now. 3 road games in a row following the Utah one. Obviously, one has already happened in Oklahoma State we're about to talk about. And then 2 more. But that will cap off 4 away games in 5 to start Big 12 play. Like, yo! And they've already
Crazy.
kind of gotten through the heavy gauntlet of that. If they can take care of the rest, that's just super impressive what they've done. So that was a big time win. I think you gained confidence from that, and you saw them carry it over into Oklahoma State. So, do you have any thoughts on Oklahoma State before I give the rundown?
Yes. No, I think that going into Oklahoma State, this is finally the question of, can we start strong? And then can we also win on the road? Now, our 2 losses on the road are still, those people are still in the top 25. These were not bad losses to have, but if we can clean up the first 20 minutes of the game, get settled in, then we're playing Red Raider soccer, and we can set ourselves up for, some pretty good stuff later on in the year in the Big 12. So this game's very important.
Yeah, it's a huge game, and they were ranked 12th at the time. I mean, I just talked about our start to Big 12 play being tough. I mean, the Big 12 handed Oklahoma State murderer's row. They started with Colorado, who's 14th in the nation on Thursday, lost a close one, 2-1 against them Thursday.
Right.
Then they had to face us, the Big 12 defending champions, on Sunday, and we beat them up and we'll show you in a minute. We beat them 2-0. Now they go on the road to BYU. That's like BYU's had a weird year, but it could have been the top 3 teams in the conference.
Exactly.
It's crazy. They're gauntlet, but I think they'll rebound. They've been really good before this. They hadn't even allowed a goal until Thursday, and it wasn't like they had played just cupcakes. Like they had a win over Indiana, I believe, in the Big Ten, and a win over somebody else. Like they had some a couple of good RPI type wins, but they just got the best of them in Big 12. But their keeper is really good, as you'll see. She makes some saves against us, so it's good for us if they bounce back a little bit, right? Because that continues to be a big win if they can get it together and bounce back. But man, I was looking at their schedule today. I was like, dang, Oklahoma State, like Colorado, Texas Tech, and BYU back to back is tough.
That's crazy. It's a gauntlet.
Empathy for them, but yeah. So this one, I thought my first takeaway is I hadn't seen Oklahoma State play yet this year. But my first takeaway, and I don't want this to come off as a shot at Oklahoma State, it's more a compliment to our team, is 5 minutes into that game, even though they were controlling possession, I was just like, we're way fitter than them. And by fitness, I mean like fitness. Like I was like, we're
right.
more physical, we're stronger. I think we're going to have more stamina, just the overall look. And I was like, we're going to be able to wear this team down, get into the second half, score a goal in the second half, and win it. It was kind of what I was thinking 5 minutes in. Even though they were controlling possession and controlling attack for like the first 15-20, that was my initial impression. It was, wow, we're just a lot fitter, which wow is not the word really. We pretty much usually are more the fitter team, just because that's part of Tom Stone's programs. You're always going to have teams that are in really good shape and doing what they do out there. But I don't know. It just felt like, hey, we're going to be fine. We're going to be able to wear them down. And then this team said, no, Shelby, we're just going to go ahead and get a goal in the first half and put it away there for us. So they end up scoring at the end of the second half on one of the prettier goals you will see in soccer, just all things considered. Touches 3 different people's feet, goes in the goal. Beautiful passing, beautiful patience, maturity. You had like a sophomore, junior, senior combine on that. And it was just really pretty soccer. You'll see that goal. Again, Caitlin Giametta was on the end of that, had herself a week. And then we get another goal in the second half, which was Ashley Williams doing. Oh, it's so good.
Yes.
The celebration. Just wait till you see this goal. Like it just makes you so happy. All of it. And we have some fun clips from Tom. Learned about what was going on in that halftime locker room that gave him some good vibes. But yeah, the whole thing was really good. And then just some shout outs. Molly Skurczynski was huge in those first 20 minutes. She did seem like she had to leave and was dealing with a little something, so I hope she's healthy, but she was gritting through it. Like, she was out there blocking balls, getting thrown to the ground with no calls. I think we got 2 yellow cards on our staff, and I wouldn't be shocked if they came, both of them trying to defend Molly, because she was getting beat up out there. But she just kept getting back up and kept, like, fighting through it. And she's a big reason we were able to hold them scoreless in that first 20 where they were attacking along with Faith. So I said Sibby is the president of Chloe Soto's fan club. If you've watched our show, people know that I'm the president of Molly Skurczynski's fan club, so obviously I had to give her a shout out there. So she was great, but I hope she's healthy. But Peyton Anning comes into the game after that and holds it down. So this whole team, every game, it's like someone else gets hurt and it's the next person up. So I'm not surprised anymore, but that's kind of the initial thoughts before we show the highlights. We got them. And the announcers in this...
They come back from their defeat against Colorado, while the visitors,
about,
Texas Tech, are coming off a fine home win over
when you're
Utah.
Watching soccer.
Big
Yes.
You can't help
it hits different.
It's
Patterson
different,
Stadium. Dave
But also
Saunders
they were
and former
great.
professional Anna
You had a
Berger
pro
with you. And
player in
Anna, as
there.
I've just mentioned,
They just were
OSU
very
tasting defeat for the first time this season.
Informative, and they clearly knew both teams. They couldn't. I put it in the recap that we put on the website. They could not shut up about Macy Blackburn. And I was like, all right, finally someone gets it. Someone on the road understands. And so I knew, like, I think they're talking about her right now.
Very impressive Macy Blackburn.
He's talking about her right now. Here's this goal, y'all. I need y'all to watch this goal. So this is the goal I was talking about. We're 5 minutes left. The highlights skip right to the end of the half because there wasn't a lot happening for us. We had some chances. Peyton Parsons took a deep shot in this, almost, right off target, but a good one that she does. She's capable of making. But then it comes to this, 5 minutes left, and this build-up. And I want you to watch Skylar Skylar Hazy has it, right? And we just showed you her making that deep clutch goal against Utah. And you know that Oklahoma State has seen that on tape. You know that they've been told, hey, this girl can make it from deep, as well as some others on this team. So much so that number 40, I think it is, for Oklahoma State, kind of bottom closest to your screen, is going to run off her line, and then 2 players are going to join her, and everybody chases Skylar. And they're so worried she's going to take a long shot like she did against Utah, and it just lets Z trickle out. And then Skylar plays it patiently, beautifully, waits till the last second, gets it over, and that just starts something really special. And then you'll see Z take some patience on it. She could have taken a shot, but it wasn't as good of a shot that she eventually sets up Bug for in the middle of the field. And it's just great. It was just one of the prettiest goals we've had this year. Their creativity and the teamwork on the goals this year has just seemed
incredible,
seamless. Like, I'm not saying it was like
yes.
that last year too. I don't know what I'm saying, but they're like that every year. But it just feels a little different. Maybe it's because it's so many different people, and you just never know where it's coming from. Just look at them. Look how many people are just chilling.
That's crazy.
All 3 of them are like, oh no, she's gonna shoot it. Coach told me she was gonna shoot it. Coach told me don't let this girl shoot from deep. I saw it, and they all go up there, and then Z's like, oh, thank you. Perfect ball over. She could hack it. She could have hacked from here. She's capable.
They could have. Yeah, she could have.
She literally holds the Texas high school record for goals in a season. Something stupid like 118 goals. She could have hacked from there.
Dang. Yeah, she could have.
High school soccer is not club soccer, but still, she was scoring prolifically at the club level too. She can score goals, and she wasn't even really looking. She knew Bo was about to come over, and she gives her this perfect
here
ball.
To Shajeski.
And then I don't know what it is about Caitlin Giametta, but she has this sliding shot on lock. She did this last year in a similar situation, just the build-up was from the other side. I think it was Alex Kerr closer to the baseline. It was like Macy to Alex, and then up to Caitlin in the middle like that. And she stretched out one leg sliding and kicked it in. I don't understand how she did
I don't know.
It's the second time I've seen her do that. So it's not a mistake at this point. She's
it's programmed. It's programmed. Beautiful goal. Beautiful.
The announcers were very impressed with her in this game too. They talked a lot about Caitlin Giametta. So if you're needing to get a little boost of confidence, Caitlin, and you're listening to our show, just go re-watch this game or listen to it. And this announcer was hyping you up most of the second half.
Giametta, who's come on as a first half substitute, and with just less than 6 minutes to go, it is OSU 0, Texas Tech 1.
That was a big goal.
The way that this ball was worked by Texas Tech, you see Oklahoma State a breakdown there defensively, all 3 players moving towards the midfield, and a thoughtful ball by Texas Tech to the top of the box, and a great finish.
Beautiful.
The goalie was stunned. She didn't know what to do. She just fell forward.
So to speak, and that's a good point. I'm gonna give credit to Alana Harry for part of that. Like, if you watch Alana make this great run in front of goal, this keeper doesn't know if that ball's going to Alana. She doesn't know if it's going to Caitlin. So she's kind of stuck in the middle, worrying like, oh, is this gonna go to number 7? Is this gonna go to her? And then Caitlin takes that sliding shot. Like, she has nowhere to know. So
to the
credit
top
to
of the box and
a big goal from everybody there.
Well
big teamwork
goal
on that one. Love fist pumps.
Yes, love the celebration.
Hasn't been challenged. I mean, Oklahoma State
Oh,
still.
here, coming up, this is a record-breaking moment. This is a historical moment for Texas Tech, this moment. It's not the fanciest assist for Macy, but it counts, right? She's the reason this happened. She's going to get the build-up. She's going to get it down to Giametta, and then she's going to get it over to Ashley, who eventually finishes this goal. But I'm stopping it so you can take in this moment, because this is Macy Blackburn breaking the all-time career assist record at Texas Tech in only 2.5 years. And again, it's Texas Tech soccer. It's not a slouch of a program. We've had stud after stud after stud come through this program. We have pros come through this program that played her position. And you'll hear Tom talk about that in a minute. And I mean, she's just special. She's just special. And this isn't the fanciest. She just does her job here, gets it over to Caitlin in good space, and then Bug does the rest here. But it counts, and she gets it done. So special moment. it'll go down in the history books.
At this point in the game, only one shot on goal as they try to find something going
This pass
forward
from-
as Texas Tech here.
Well, they've got a second here. It's a second of the season as well for Ashley Williams. There's daylight between the teams. The ball came in, and with a very,
Everything's
very
just
fine
different
finish.
when Ashley Williams
Means that it is
scores.
now
Everybody's
OSU
happy.
It is.
nil,
The sun
Texas
shines a little
2.
brighter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, it adds to the energy.
How can it not?
As she's made an
The
impact
celebration is
in this
everything.
game. Great ball worked out wide. And again, good finish.
I
from
mean, I
Williams,
don't
able to just
understand
step
how
in
she
front
did
of the
that.
defender enough to redirect
Me
it.
either. And the goalie was kind of there,
Even a slight
too.
deflection
Yeah,
does
she
she's a
just-
good
to beat
keeper.
Grace Gordon.
Like,
Yeah.
And
You
Texas
can't-
Tech
you can't
extending
stop
their
that unless
Just
lead
crazy.
2 goals
just
to nil
guessed
against
before she
Oklahoma
even
State
shot it,
as
and
Ashley
then she
Williams
just would have
finding
shot
the
it
back
front
of the net
side.
for the
So,
second
like,
time
yeah,
this
that sometimes,
season.
you know,
And the
offense
Red
is just better than
Raiders
defense,
starting
and
to
that was
sit
that
a lot
time.
more
So
comfortably
it's crazy.
I mean,
that
it's
she was
Ashley
second
Williams.
still. It's Ashley Williams. She's like 4th all time in
Congratulations
goals
to
scored
Texas.
for a reason, and we've been, you know, shooting more deep shots and all those things, but it was good to see her get an opportunity in the box because she is elite in that area, and that was just, I mean, her and Kaylin seem to be getting a nice little chemistry going when they're out there together, so that was really cool to see. And then the celebration, I don't know if it already happened, but the celebration is my favorite part. The team posted a cool little slow motion version of this, but this is why this team is awesome. The vibes are great, right? Everybody, how can you not love
Step
this
in front
team?
of the defender.
They're so happy for each other. They're so happy for Ashley. Ashley can't help herself, like tackles her teammates here, and then everybody else came over there and jumped on the pile as well. I think you saw like Millie Elwood here coming in, the freshman. She's like, dog pile? Okay, I'm in. Let's do it. And everybody's vibing. So, man, I love this team so much. Like, I think we tweeted, like, how can you not love these goobers? And, like, it's just the truth. Like, how can you not?
Celebration was awesome. So great to see.
Oh, we'll give a shout out to Renee in the chat. Her little boy scored the game tying goal with no time.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. What a perfect way to do it with Ashley Williams scoring a goal on the screen at the same time. That's cool. Congrats to him. That's exciting.
Yes,
Don't be freaking out.
congratulations.
I hope he was dogpiling with his teammates.
Yes.
Beautiful game. Yeah. That's cool. Thanks for watching, Renee. So, yeah, those are the highlights. We'll let them play through. Ashley had an almost goal very soon after this that came off of a really pretty ball over from Alana Harry, who I wish the highlight existed. I tried to go back and clip it, but the stream wasn't working for me. So y'all can go find it. It happens about like 2 or 3 minutes right after that goal. And Alana Harry sends this ball from the right side through about 4 defenders all the way across to the top of the box with great pace, accuracy, perfectly to Ashley's foot. And Ashley takes a great shot. There was nothing else she could do with it. And the keeper, she's a good keeper. Like, for us to get 2 goals is impressive. She jumped
Their
up and saved
keeper
it, but
had 6 saves compared. We only had 2. So I mean, that
busy.
keeper was stopping us. Yes, she was
Yeah.
trying to stop us, but she just couldn't. She fell short. So
Yeah, it could've
Red
been-
Raider
could've been
soccer.
a lot worse. And I guess it's not in here either, man. Maybe I'll try to pull that up because there was a nice little save. I don't know if I'm talented enough to do it while we're talking from Faith Win in this. I know it's on here. Plug. Go to our website. We did a recap, and I put the clip of it in our recap, so seeing-scarlet.com, and you'll see a highlight from Faith Win at the end of this. It was one of her saves. It was probably like her save of the year, in my opinion, because of the cat-like reflexes that she showed on this save. Peyton Annan had a nice header in the same play, and then they got another like shot over, and she gets a hand on it, but then it deflects right to the feet of a Oklahoma State player, of course, and she hacks right away. And somehow Faith goes from full standing after just tipping the ball to on the ground, contorts her body in the opposite direction in like 0.2 seconds. I know she's
Like,
small
just-
for a keeper, but she's still like 5'7". So she had to get
Right.
on the ground, get the ball. It was just, I mean, Faith is super athletic. That's her thing, and she showed it there. And I'm going to be honest, if she had missed it, that ball was not going in anyway, because in the background there's like 6 of our players standing on the goal line, which you love to see. We were there and prepared, but Faith did her job, so they didn't have to. So Faith was great in this game. things got a little bit squirrely, as I said, to end that game in the last 10 minutes, but that's just kind of how soccer goes. I think I even tweeted before the last 10 minutes started, I'm kind of expecting some chaotic soccer here to end the game, because that's just how it goes when there's a 2-0 lead and the other team sends in an attacker, takes off a defender, you're just like, everybody buckle in. And that's kind of what it was, is they were just sending balls forward. Their keeper was coming up to the midline a lot. She actually almost got cooked doing that. We almost had a third goal because of that, where she got caught out front and Z almost snuck it past her for like a really long goal. But we just missed that one. So that's just kind of how that goes. But Tom talks about it in his post game. We'll show the clip in a second about probably need to clean that up a little bit, but there's always things to learn. So
Right.
overall, it was fun. Like, it just felt
it
was exciting.
We beat number 12.
we were controlling that game from about 30 minutes in, I think, on. So yeah, poor Oklahoma State fell all the way out of the rankings, but they're still a tournament level team. They just need to get back on the winning track. So we've been there. Oklahoma State, they booted us out of the rankings after a loss too. So climb your way back up like we did. All right, so some clips from Tom. You just heard us talk all about this game, but we're gonna show it. We're gonna disappear, and it'll just be Tom Stone talking, which will be way more entertaining for you guys. So this is his thoughts on Oklahoma State as a whole, this game, and how he feels like this team is starting to grow up and come together. And he talks in the beginning about how they kind of understood that they were gonna have to reshape the team, and he's talking about both the injuries to a couple of all Big 12 players in Courtwright and Kylie Barr, but also Lauren Woodruff is out this year. Macy Blackburn obviously didn't come back until about 4 or 5 games in. And then just the mass of seniors that graduated from last year's team. They knew that this team was going to be a work in progress. And so he talks at the beginning of this. That's what he's speaking to when he's like, people needed to grow up and our leaders needed to lead, is what he says. But he was really proud of them for that. So here you go.
Great about it. It's not easy to win on the road in the Big 12, obviously, and we're coming in playing the number 12 ranked team in the country, and they've not even lost until Thursday and hadn't conceded. And, we knew they were going to be really tough out, but the mentality was right. We said it all along. After all those players that we lost, we had to kind of rebuild and remake and reshape the team, and the younger girls would have to grow up fast, and the older girls were going to have to lead. And these women did that today. I thought the vets were great. Our forward line had a great second half after a frustrating first half. Macy, Elise, Peyton, Molly, just leading the team. And that's what it takes to win on the road in the Big 12, having some good leadership and in the rain delay, all the things that could have gotten in the way. But really good performance tonight. Not our best last 10 minutes of closeout soccer, but again, we're young and we'll figure that out.
Coach always got to find something, That's why Texas Tech
Right.
soccer is Texas Tech soccer. We're never perfect. There's always room to improve, and you appreciate that about them. So they got that done. And one more clip that I just thought was hilarious, and if you've been wondering what the heck my little tagline is about, first of all, I'm offended because that means you didn't read our recap on the website, or you would know what that means.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Get your life together. But two, here, this is some context. So there was a rain delay at halftime in this, so I think halftime ended up being about an hour or so. And then they asked Tom Stone about this in the postgame. And apparently the gals were having a good time.
Well, we would love to take credit for their awesome break that we took and how I think we came out of the locker room. But you're going to have to credit whoever controls the music box, because there was something going on in that locker room during that delay that sounded like downtown Dallas on a Friday night. So they had the spirit, they had the energy for it, they were up for it. And to be fair, when we came out of the locker room the second half, I think we were more settled, calmer, better on the ball than we had been the whole game. And that really was a tipping point, because you knew Oklahoma State was going to come out in the second half and come after us. And to be able to play as well as we did first 5 minutes of the second half, I think that really set the tone, for the rest of the game.
Just an all-time line from Tom Stone. I love that, man.
Needs to be framed.
Needs to be framed, I feel like some people have the wrong impression of him. If you're not around Tom Stone or like at least watch clips and stuff of him, I think some people because they watch him at games and they hear him at games just always yelling, and they can maybe get the wrong impression. But he likes his teams to have fun. He understands that it's college sports. I think he posted a clip of that celebration. It was like, you gotta love college athletics, where I don't know, some coaches could be like, get up off the ground. What are you doing dogpiling after a regular season goal. Like, no, like let them celebrate. That's
Right.
pure joy right there. So and stuff like that. So if I could put that on a T-shirt, I would. Maybe that is the new theme of Texas Tech soccer in 2024. Is when we do a recap video after the end of this year. Like, that's going to be my title for this Big 12 championship team. Let's speak it into existence. Is it's going to be downtown
Big 12
Dallas
champions
on a Friday night is the theme of this team, and that's just this team. I don't know if it was us that was playing the music or the Oklahoma State people. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but either way, we were making the most of it, having a good time, and we came out in that second half. And if y'all watched it, you couldn't see that in those highlights, but if you watched the game, you know this, but if you didn't, I mean, I don't even know if dominate is the word for the first 5 minutes of the second half. Like, we just, like, put up a tent and lived inside their box, it felt like. And credit to that keeper, you said 6 saves. I think a lot of those came in that 5-minute span.
Yeah.
Like, we were getting shot off after shot off, or at least ball near the box after ball, and we just kept coming, and eventually we broke through later. But that kind of, I would have to think, as Oklahoma State, who was already down 1-0 and probably spent their halftime being like, hey guys, we're fine. We're going to come out and we're going to dominate the second half. We're going to come out and do what we do and take over and win the game. To come out and we have been doing a freaking dance party all halftime and come out there and we're like, no, we're just going to dance in your on your end the whole first 5 minutes has to be demoralizing. So then we get that goal, but credit to Oklahoma State. They did not quit. Like we said, they kept hacking. They kept trying. We just kept them off the board and got the win. So super proud of them, super happy for them.
Yes.
And the rankings. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying it was just, I think that's incredible, and that shows the resilience of the team to be like, yeah, you're up 1-0, but anything can happen in the second half. Rain delays, you're at Oklahoma State, which is a very tough place to play. I think it says like 900 fans there. So obviously you're going to come in, and they just didn't care. They just went out, they partied, and they said, you know what, we're going to go and we're going to win this game. And that's just it's incredible. Like, you don't see that, like,
Yeah, that's just, this team knows how to be serious when they need to be serious, but they know how to keep it light when they need to keep it light. And that's just good leadership. That's people that have been there, done that, like Macy Blackburn, that we're about to show some fun clips of in a second. We got some more stuff for you. But first of all, you mentioned, I didn't know they had 800 people. I think Tom mentions in his postgame, he thinks there was like 300 or 400 Texas Tech fans there. So a lot of those were us, and that's just super cool that we're traveling in that way. But also remember, Chloe Soder, if people aren't aware, is from Oklahoma, so I'm sure she had a huge contingent of family and friends there as well.
Okay.
I'm going to show you all this clip, so I'm going to pull this back up. And I want y'all to listen during this celebration.
Light deflection doesn't matter. Enough to beat Grace Gordon and Texas Tech extending.
Listen closely to the crowd reaction to us scoring a goal in Stillwater, Oklahoma. If anyone was watching this and just didn't know what Texas Tech field looked like, they would have assumed it was a home game, the way people are screaming
100%.
in the background.
And again, good finish from Williams, able to just step in.
Texas Tech
hasn't been challenged. I mean, Oklahoma State still, at this
point
in the game, only one shot on goal as they try to find something going forward as Texas Tech here.
Well, they've got a second here. It's a second of the season as well for Ashley Williams. There's daylight between the teams. The ball came in, and Ashley Williams with a very, very fine.
Like, tell me that's not a Lubbock, Texas John Walker crowd right there. So, yeah, credit to everybody that showed up, whether it was Chloe Soder or just people that drove up. I don't know how far it is from Dallas to Stillwater, but probably not a terrible drive.
I don't think so.
So, and we have a lot of players from Dallas as well. So, yeah, that's Red Raider Nation. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hope you're watching this if you're considering going to Texas Tech. But if you are, why would you not want to play for Texas Tech? Our fans are elite. They took over frickin' TCU. They're taking over Stillwater, Oklahoma. Are they going to go to Kansas State? Let's find out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll hear some Raider powers, even if it's just one person. That's still more.
It's gotta be like so. Like, I know we've had players on here and we've interviewed them, and they've talked about how much fans matter and how much hearing the Raider. Other big. Whoa, we're back. I don't know what just happened.
Okay.
But we've had people with the other teams just like yelling stuff at you, and God knows what they're yelling at you, and then to hear a Raider Power in the background is great. So real quickly to wrap up soccer-ish, Tyler has some fun stuff he's about to announce. But we can't talk about soccer and not spend time on Macy Blackburn. We kind of went there a little bit just now, but we gotta give her full shine. So Macy Blackburn, y'all, did in fact break the record. We knew it was coming. We've been talking about it all year on this show.
We knew.
She tied it a few games ago, and she's been close, and it was coming. Like, it could have happened last year, which would have been even more insane to do it in 2 years. But she gets it done in 2.5 years, coming off of an injury. She's not human, and she's one of the best. She is the best to do it ever, not just statistically. You're going to hear Tom Stone talk about her in a clip I'm about to play. And I was just speaking about recruits. If you happen to be watching our show, maybe I'll clip this and put it out there for you. But like he says, she still has 1.5 years left. That means somebody, listen to this, that hasn't found a home for next year, maybe in the transfer portal. Why would you not want to be a goal scorer and play with Macy frickin' Blackburn? Did you see that ball earlier we showed from the Utah game? Have you seen the clip from her and Hannah Anderson? Insert any play, but the Texas play, certainly. She's just beautiful. And she passed Taylor Lytle, actually, who is an all-time great. And I had the opportunity to watch Taylor Lytle do her thing close up and personal for an entire year because I worked for the team as a student athletic trainer. In 2009, I believe she was a sophomore and had a really big year. And I saw how much work went into her craft. And so I know how good of a soccer player Taylor Lytle was. And for Macy to be even better somehow, it blows. I can't even imagine being around Macy and seeing her practice every day. So it's not like she did this at a program that Tom Stone just showed up yesterday, right? He's been here for 18 years and had a lot of good players, and he talks about this in this clip.
Well, we're so happy for her. It's like 2.5 years. I mean, she's still got the rest of the season and all of next year, and she has already, broken the program record for most assists. And listen, we've had some great assisters. Taylor Lytle, who's about to go into the Hall of Fame, had the record for a while. Allie Murphy, who is a tremendous player, 7-year pro. She had a ton of assists and broke some records. And, most highly regarded probably outside back we've had has been Jaylene Hinkle, who was one of the best left backs in the world at one time, and she was getting assists like, it was nothing. And Macy comes rolling in and quite frankly has the best service that I've seen from a college player. Certainly the best service we've ever had here. If you're a forward, man, you want to play with Macy Blackburn because she's going to set you up.
Like he said, if you're a forward, you got one more chance. I don't know if we have any spots available. I don't know. I'm not getting into recruiting talk. It's the middle of the season. But I will say you got a chance to play with Macy Blackburn one more time. But in the meantime, we got Ashley Williams getting to do it. We get Z up top getting to do it. All these people that she's had the pleasure of assisting with, and she, I think her very first career assist went to one Kirsten Davis, who is a pro player in the NWSL right now, and she just kept it going. Listen, I've said it many a times. We've had a chance to interview Macy and get to know her a little bit more just from afar. And she's just a great human being, really strong in her faith.
She is.
And I'm perfectly comfortable talking about that because she's perfectly comfortable. She wants people to know that about who she is, and that's who she stands for. But she's also a really, really elite soccer player. And so she's an elite human, elite soccer player, and just
very humble, too.
Very humble. And one of the most intense athletes on campus. So she's so humble and so nice and so sweet off the field. You watch this girl play soccer and she is, you watch Tom yell at refs. Macy is going to be Tom Stone. I don't know if she wants to get into coaching, but the looks that she gives refs when they make some dumb calls, I don't blame the girl.
Oh, there was a lot against Utah too.
Yeah, she was laying on the ground against Utah, she's so intense, but that intensity is what drives this team, and you've seen that this year. We've been in not that we were bad before she came back, right? But we were trying to find our footing, and as soon as she got back on that field, she pushes people to be better. She pushes them to believe. She pushes them to keep going, and it brings out the best in everybody when you have a leader like her on and off the field. So she's a great soccer player, but also that, and you get to see the team in this celebrating her as they do. It was a cool video they put out where they finally announced it because they didn't realize it. I guess they didn't announce it in the locker room, but they put it together that it happened. They get on the bus and Tom announces it for the team to give her a little shout out and celebration.
Here we go. Yeah, and there's bats on it.
Ladies,
Yeah.
can I have your attention, please? At the 63-53 moment of the game, the one and only Macy Blackburn broke the Texas Tech record for all-time assists. By the way, that's beating Taylor Lytle, who's going into the Hall of Fame in a month. Allie Murphy, who will tell you she was the best server ever, and Jaylene Hinkle, who was the best until this one came along. So Macy, we are so happy for you. And there's
I couldn't have done it if you guys didn't score. So.
the humble side of Macy. Hey, and one more thing, and she did it in 2.5 years. What?
You got to hear the humble side, as you said, as well. But yeah, just big time. Yeah, she could not have done it if people weren't scoring. But if it was that easy, everybody would be out there dropping the assists that she was. You got to be special. And she just, I mean, the passes, I don't even want to think about it. We still got a year and a half. I don't want to think about watching a team without Macy Blackburn on it. That's how I used to
me either.
Get them used to watching her do what she does out there. So special player. We could talk about her forever, but go watch all the stuff on her. They put out a lot of good content about that. And there'll be more to come as the year goes and next year goes and all the things. She's just a special player, and she is GOATed now. She is the best to ever do it. Let me say it again. Ever. GOAT is overused, but she literally is the GOAT at assist at Texas Tech Soccer, a program that has had, as Tom said, great after great after great come through here. And she could put that record far out there. Someone will chase it down. Maybe Sam Courtrider chase her down. Maybe she'll look at that and come get it.
Yes.
Come get it. But it's gonna be tough because she has a lot of games left to go. So love Macy as a person, as a player. But yeah, so that's that. Next up, we have Oh, we're back.
Okay.
It's never done this before. I'm not going to blame it on you. It's probably me, but that's never happened before.
It might be mine.
It's happened twice now. So sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. We're working through it. It's that kind of week. But so we could talk about her forever. But again, we're moving on to the road games. They have road matches with Kansas State and Houston. Kansas State in particular is a kind of a tough place to play. I think they're on a little bit of a losing streak in Big 12 play, but they've played people pretty close. Like Colorado is now the highest ranked team in the Big 12, number 14 in the nation. They should have beaten UNC. I watched that game. We'll talk about that more when we preview Colorado in a couple of weeks. But they're a very good team, and they went to K-State recently, and they only won 1-0. So they're gonna make it tough to score, kind of like Iowa State if y'all remember that match last year, where it's just might be a little bit of a slog. I hope not. I hope we go drop 4 goals on them. Let's go. Let's catch them off. Let's do that rave, that dance party before the game. Get the vibes going. But who knows? I don't know how they play. I haven't had a chance to watch them, if they're keeping people back and their plan is just not to let you score, or if they're going to attack and give you opportunities. So we'll see that. And then Houston is also at Houston as well. And they're having a season. It's been a tough year for them, but those are 2 ones. It's never easy to win on the road. Doesn't matter who it is. Everybody can catch you slipping at any time. And I think it's a really unique time for this team to take another step forward. It's been that kind of year where they've overcome all that early season adversity, those early season losses to a couple of top 10 teams, right? You've worked your way back into the top 25. You are kind of a young team. You have some really experienced leadership in Macy and Cassie and Elise and Molly and Ashley. They're carrying things. But then you have, on the other extreme, a lot of young players, right? You have that little number next to your name now. So can you see that little number next to your name and go on the road, forget who you're playing, and just take care of business? and that's another chance for them to get better. So that's what their chances are this week, is to be like, all right, let's just get improved and try to keep going. It's cool to be ranked. They earned it. They should be ranked. That's well deserved, but it really means nothing. So rankings mean nothing until seeding comes around for the tournament. It's just like a pat on the back. So, but I don't need to say that about this team. Like, they have the leadership to be fine and understand it. So that's kind of how I see this week. It's a chance to get better. But what do you got?
Yeah, I think, Houston and K-State, they're both 0-3, sitting at the bottom. So in order for postseason for us to be looking good, I think you do have to get, one of these on the road, even though it is going to be tough. But I think we can do it. I'm pretty confident. But like I said, I mean, they're both going to be hungry for that first Big 12 win, both Houston and K-State. You just have to do what you did against OK State, if not even better, drop 60 on them. Like,
Hey, a win's a win.
Right.
You only get 3 points in the standings no matter what. Although I do think one of the games got rained out, which is weird. And I think UCF and somebody lost the game completely to weather, and so it's going to throw something weird into the standings where goal differential might come into play now because of the way that it became unbalanced because of that. I was reading that. So maybe it'll matter, but just go out there and score. And just win. Just win. If you win, we did it last year. If you win all your games or don't lose a game, you're probably going to be in a good spot to get into the tournament. Winning conference would be insane. I'm not even talking about that yet, but they're certainly still in the hunt to do that. But this would be a good jump forward. We talked about RPI last week. They were 65th. We said, hey, that's not great, but it's going to take care of itself if you do what you need to in Big 12 play. They took a huge jump in RPI. They're all the way up to 39th. If you can get into the top 30, that's pretty much a lock for a power conference team, typically. Knock on wood. After what happened to softball last year, I don't ever trust committees anymore.
R.I.P.
Yeah, but typically that'll be enough. So if they take care of business, they're going to be fine on that. And then we don't usually preview things this far ahead, but we have Tyler with us, and so we won't talk about necessarily the opponent so much. But he has something special for their next home game. I don't know if you have the date handy, whenever that is, but Baylor is coming to town, solid team, and they're doing a Seeing Scarlet takeover. So take it away. Let people know what that means and what they can see next time this team gets back to Lubbock.
Yeah, so normally if you go to any of our Texas Tech sporting events, Lady Raider basketball, you can normally catch them at one or two of them. So to set a standard for the Scarlet Stampede, I said, well, you know what? How about we do that and we bring tons of students to the game? So Friday, October 4th, we will be taking on Baylor, and we're going to be doing a Scarlet Stampede takeover. So in these next few weeks, especially this Friday, we're going to be marketing y'all to join all of our communication platforms. We're going to have treats at the sub for y'all. Get y'all on the group me. Yes, cookies and brownies. So you can't say no to that. So please catch us there. Yes, we're going to break 1,000. That's the goal. Break 1,000 at the soccer game. October 4th. So mark your calendars. Yes.
Let's go. I love that. Big time for Baylor. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Mark your calendars for the Colorado game that next, was that 3 days later, whenever that is, because that's shaping up to be a huge Big 12 standings game if you take care of business today or this week and against Baylor. That could be a really important
100%.
game. So just go ahead, be there at Baylor, and plan to be there go ahead and buy both tickets right now. And if you're students, you don't got to buy both of them, but make your plans to be there. That's cool. So appreciate that. Y'all been doing great stuff at soccer, keeping the vibes high. Now that they have that ranking ahead of their name, that'll usually get some casuals to show up. Make your life a little easier, but y'all been doing the work for this team who deserves it. That's why we do what we do. Nothing's changed. They've always been them. Now they just have a number ahead of their name, so the casuals will wake up again and see it. But they've been a great team regardless this whole time. So people that have been there, catching them, y'all getting to take advantage of seeing that. And now hopefully more people will show up, and they have a lot of fun home games to finish the year.
We do a lot of stuff for our internship. We have for the kids, bring your kids. We got a bouncy house inflatable kick thing. We got a kinetic sand, Play-Doh. We have everything.
On the bounce house.
There's no age limit. Yeah, you could just it's like a kick. You kick the ball into the hole or whatever in the inflatable. So yeah, you do it. Go show up, everybody.
I saw that last year. Sometimes the masked riders there taking pictures every once in a while.
Yes.
So big time. So something tells me the Mass Rider might be there for at least Colorado if they're both ranked. So we'll see how that shapes up. But we can talk about soccer forever. We've already been talking about them for an hour, which
Right.
is a little longer than we normally do, but it needed to happen because
It did.
historic things happened this week for soccer. So shout out y'all. Keep doing the damn thing. We love y'all. So much love y'all's way. I really love this season. Oh, y'all just make it so much fun to watch y'all play soccer every week. So I can't wait for Thursday and Sunday this week. But also playing another sport. We're looking forward to seeing what they can do this year. They're trying to turn things around and change the program a little bit from a downturn last year is volleyball. So we'll quickly kind of go through kind of what happens down in Miami. I'll just go ahead and pull up the highlights and we'll just talk over them so we can fit it in because I don't want them to not get their shine just because we're running low on time here. So we'll talk over them as we'll just play these in the background for you. But this was volleyball. We'll turn the sound off. They went down to the 305 Challenge in Miami this past weekend, and they played FIU, Florida International. Ignore their record on screen because if you go pull up Florida International's schedule, every single team they've played this year has been a power conference opponent, and they've stolen quite a few sets from a lot of those teams and probably should have beaten a handful. They could make the tournament if they go do what they want to in their conference. So they have a lot of talent. They also have a former Red Raider on her team. Courtney O'Brien plays for them, so it was cool to see her out there doing her thing again. Enjoyed what she did for us last year. So she was playing for them, but we really controlled this. I mean, it was not necessarily dominant sets, but we won every set in this. You'll see just came out and did what you want to see a team do that's trying to take strides, right?
Right.
We're going to do what we want to do. Yeah, you need to beat a team like FIU, even if they are a good team that has given power conference teams trouble. So we just looked really kind of on our game. Our hitting percentage was really good in the first set. It was like over 400, which is an area we struggled.
423.
There you go. Give us the stats. I love it. Who else? You give us. Just run through the stats. I'll let you take it away for FIU. Who shined in the scorebook for you?
In the scorebook, for FIU, what really stood out was Emily Merrick. She had a 467 hitting percentage, so that's always impressive. Aaliyah McDonald with 389. Reagan Leanin, I think I said that right, 500. Linen 500. And then Caitlin Cochran with 571 hitting percentage. So
she's
very
a setter
impressive
too. So she's probably not taking very many swings, but still she's efficient when she gets them done. So you'll see a lot of Caitlin Cochran in this. KC, I believe, is what they call her for short. But also Hannah Borer will get some run too. We're still splitting some things with the setters because they're both solid. But yeah, we look good with FIU. Don't have a lot to complain about when you go 3-0 sweep over a solid enough team on their home court with a really fun crowd. We were talking about the crowd chirping at you in soccer. This crowd, you could tell students were there. They did their research. They must have had a roster printed out because when we were back to serve, they were yelling at Mia. They were just like, Mia, 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 Mia. Like they were just like yelling her name over, trying to distract her and doing it to all of our players. I was like, Texas Tech students, if you're listening, I need you to bring that level of annoyance to our opponents when we play at home because I thought that was cool. But we got it done. Mia gave her trademark little wave to the other team at the end of this, which I don't think they appreciated. But listen, we need all the swagger we can get, so I am here for it if that rubs off on the rest of the team. So they got it done in that one, and then we'll play Miami's highlights. This match, we lost. We got swept. But it really wasn't like we got swept, you know? If you watched it, I think the first two sets, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, we only lost 25-23 in both of those.
We did, yes. Those sets were very close, and I think it was the second set. I mean, all right, if you see on the picture thing, that roof is way too low for volleyball, in my opinion. I mean, and it cost us in the end.
Worse, but yeah, it was pretty bad. It was annoying.
It was. But yes, both were 23-25.
Unlucky moments with that roof. We showed our grit and our fight. Something this team has to get better at. We've talked about it. I'm not going to keep harping on it too much, but is the hitting percentage, right? But what's keeping us in these matches, regardless of that, is we've been a really good defensive team as far as like digging balls out and making other teams work really hard to get points, to get kills, to score on us this year. And we've been a really good service team, to the point that Miami's coach was quoted on the broadcast as worrying about our service as a team coming into this match. So he's seen it enough on tape to be like, hey, this team can serve pretty well, and it's multiple people that can get back there and go on service runs, right? We just did it right there. That was an ace from Maddie Correa. Simone Overbeck can get back there and go on runs. We know Mia Wesley can get back there and go on runs. Emily Contreras is capable of it. Abby Dickinson, very capable of it. Didn't make
Oh,
this
yes,
trip in.
100%.
She didn't play in any of these matches, so that was something. I hope she's healthy. I don't know what that. I mean, clearly she must be dealing with something. So I hope that wasn't serious and it was like a let's rest her for Big 12 play thing. Because we need Abby Dickinson. Because she is.
We do, yes.
The two things that we have been solid at this year are the defensive side of things and serving, and she is great at both of those. So you don't want to take someone out of what you do well and what's keeping you in the game. So I hope she's okay. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll see if she plays up in these next games. But she did not play in these, I noticed. Unless you can see her in the box score, I don't remember seeing her get into any of the games. But yeah, so that's where we've been good. We just still are struggling to find consistency, and I'm hopeful that's a chemistry thing. That's all I can hope, right?
Right.
Is it's not like, hey, we just don't have the dogs to finish. I'm hopeful it's more like we have a new setter. We're playing two setters. We're still getting our rotations down and trying to keep people off guard, because take this for what it's worth. And this is just how I watch sports. I can't help it. I grew up playing basketball, so everything I watch, every sport I watch, I just watch it from like a perspective of spacing and manipulating defenders and angles and how you can move them. And so when I'm even watching volleyball, I can't help it. That's what I'm seeing. This could be ignorance, but when I watch us play, it feels like the other team is stepping with us, not reacting to us. And so the times where we score a little bit easier is when we do manipulate that defense. We do make them step this way, create a better angle, and we create a giant space in the middle of the floor to get an easy shot. Currently, It feels like the other team knows what we're doing because we're being a little predictable maybe. And I'm hopeful that's just the chemistry aspect of, hey, we have a new setter. We're still getting used to each other. A lot of different people are playing. And I'm hopeful as Big 12 goes on, we'll be a little more creative offensively. We'll attack out of the middle more. They won't know where it's coming. Because there was a few times in this game, I thought Aaliyah McDonald, I don't know what, you can pull up the stats. I thought she had quite a few kills in this match, I think. And those typically come out of the middle. And you can even see it on screen. I wish we had the highlight because it was like a Texas Tech highlight, so it came from the back. But you can see it, and it was a great moment with her and Hannah where I'm giving Hannah credit that she read it. Maybe it was a set play, but right before she sets it, you can see the back end defender for Miami. For once, she was stepping to the left thinking, oh, they're going outside to Mia. That's what they do. They're going outside to Mia. That's what they've been doing all game. So she takes a cheap step over. Hannah sets it right to the middle instead. Great, cheeky, smart, high IQ play. And that all of a sudden was like the easiest kill of the game, right? Because there's this giant space because that girl took a step. So I'm never going to pretend to be a volleyball expert. But if I take this seriously, what we do here. I watch all the matches. I try. And I can't help it. That's how my brain works. It goes to that point guard brain where it's like, okay, the spacing and the angles, and how can we manipulate these defenders to move them around to make it easier and make it a little less predictable and not have to rely on Mia and Bren and Emily to take like superhero swings all the time. Just give us something easy, you know what I mean? And they certainly need to be more consistent at times as well, and they're going to get better. But that's what I'm hoping is going to happen, is that's just going to keep getting better. Because it kind of has, bit by bit, you've seen them incorporating kind of different attacks and kind of that one-footed sliding attack that Reagan Engler does. Sometimes catches them off guard. Aaliyah and Reagan out of the middle sometimes catches them off guard. So I think the more they can hopefully mix in that type of stuff and just get the chemistry down, I'm hoping will help the hitting percentage. Because it feels like, it's really easy to say, like, Mia needs to have a higher hitting percentage. Bren needs to have a higher hitting percentage. Go down the list. Like, it's really easy to look at a box score and say that. But I don't know if it's just them. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's like, hey, we're asking them to go through their best block in the world that's right in front of them because they knew we were coming. So that's what I'm hoping. Because if it's the first thing, it's like, I don't know if can we fix that in the middle of the season? Can they just magically become superheroes and just make these crazy shots? I don't know if you can rely on that. But the latter, you can always find a way to manipulate a defense, right? I don't care the sport. Call me crazy. Call me ignorant. That's fine. But that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm hoping. It's going to be a tough
It's going to be
in Big 12
slow.
But
yes.
if they keep playing defense the way they are and they keep serving the way they are, they're going to continue to be capable of going on these runs that keep them in games. Because Miami would get ahead, and then we go on like a 6-0 scoring run, and we'd be right back in it.
Right.
Because of our serving ability. And so if we keep doing that, and then we pair, like I think we don't have video of it because they didn't stream it, which was unfortunate. But we beat Arkansas in a set, who was number 25, right? And if you pull the hitting percentage for that set, it was over 300. So when we hit well and have a consistent hit, just a decent, nothing crazy, just a decent hitting percentage paired with our defense and our serving, we're capable of beating mostly anybody. So like that's what gives you hope. But it's like I don't know how we get that to continue growing. So there you go, guys. That's the best I can do for you. Someone asked us on Twitter, what do they have to do? And I was like, you want me? I tried, guys. I tried. So that's what I can say is just be a little more creative, find a way to move the defense around and not make us look so predictable and not make our outside hitters be superheroes. Because I think there's only a handful of outside hitters in the country that can be superheroes consistently like that. Like, let's not make them do that. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think that it's slow and steady, right? I think that last weekend at the UTRGV tournament, I don't think that's where the team wanted to be, dropping one to Tamu Corpus and taking some of these teams to 5 sets. We go into Miami, we get the win against FIU. Miami did receive votes in the AP poll, and I think they were ranked at one point. And then you also have Arkansas, who was ranked, and we did get a set actually off of them. So I think that's huge growth from last week. I mean, you're playing higher quality opponents, and there's still a chance, especially looking ahead as we're going to Utah and then BYU this week.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I agree. Like, you go 1 and 2, but it's against really good opponents. Those are tournament quality opponents. In some ways, that could have been 3 tournament quality opponents, depending on what FIU does. If they dominate in their conference or not, we'll see. But, yeah, those were really good opponents, so... And you didn't ever really get dominated against Arkansas. You didn't really get dominated against Miami. I think maybe one of each of those sets got away from you in each of those matches, but for the most part, you were in most of those sets and right there with them. And if you just go on, things go a little bit differently, the ceiling doesn't get in your way against Miami. I think you take one of those first sets and then everything changes, right? So they have plenty of reason to be confident in what they're doing out there. And they're going to need to be confident, right? Because when I say this, I'm not exaggerating or being biased because I've talked to a friend that covers another team in the conference, and he agrees that Texas Tech has the hardest schedule in the Big 12. Just the way, because you don't have to play everybody, right? But everybody we got is one of the best. And we started off with Utah on the road on Thursday, who is receiving votes. And I saw a metric come out earlier this week that someone ranks their outside hitter, I forget her name, but they rank her metrically so far this year has been the most efficient and the best attacking outside hitter in the country by this metric that came out. Plays for Utah. Yay us. Good test for our defense, our defense proved that they're good against Miami and Arkansas. That stood the test against good opponents. So now they get to bring that on the road. But they're going to need to do it again. And then they play number 17 BYU on the road as well this weekend on Saturday, right off the bat. And that's a fun environment to play in. We probably played our best volleyball of the year.
Last year.
Maybe the Kansas match at home. But last year on the road at BYU, we took them to 5 sets. You don't do that to BYU at home.
Exactly.
You just don't do that. So I'm hoping the ones that were here last year are like, hey, yeah, we have good vibes here. Bring that in there. Mia Wesley is from Utah. So this is a homecoming match for her. We talked to her in our interview about it. She's very excited about this trip. Gonna have lots of friends and family in the stands for both the Utah and the BYU match. So there's good things we got. And they should hear some Raider powers on the road. Just gotta give them some juice. They're the underdog. Call it nothing to lose, but you obviously have the game to lose. So there's something on the line here. But you're not going to be picked to win in these. And if you want to shock the world like they said, there's a heck of a way to do it if you can steal either of these matches on the road. Even just fight and steal some sets on the road, and then you come home and have a little confidence about you. for your first home Big 12 matches, which aren't easy either. There's no easy matches really in the Big 12. But that's my hope, is just to get better, and let's go scare some folks. Let's go push BYU. Let's go push Utah. They think, last place team in the Big 12 is coming up here. This is a cakewalk, whatever. No. Nothing has been a cakewalk. Anybody we've played this year, we've fought against everybody. And so I'm comfortable saying they'll go up there and fight. And that's one thing about this team I feel like has been consistent, is the fight. And so I'm hopeful we see that. And then we're going to find that consistency offensively, and then sky's the limit, right? So we'll see. And I hope Abby Dickinson can play, because I feel like that's an important piece to this team. So we'll see. Obviously needs to be healthy. But yeah, any other thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for Big 12 play. Non-con, it may have not have gone. It did not go the way that we anticipated or wanted it to go. However, we now start on a new slate, 0-0. So they just need to go in there this week in a tough environment, and let's pull off the upset. Let's play some Red Raider volleyball.
There you go. That's what I love to hear. And yeah, I don't think non-con went bad, really. I think the only one that they probably wanted back was the Texas A&M Corpus Christi one.
Right.
It's probably one they didn't want to drop. But overall, a decent enough spot. I think they're in the top 100 in the RPI last time I saw it. So not a terrible spot to be. Like, everybody you're going to play is in the top 100 in the RPI, because the Big 12 is a gauntlet. But it's if you want to make the tournament, which is their goal, right? They're going to have to eke themselves up into the middle of conference, and they're going to have to steal some wins from the top half of the conference. Utah and BYU are two of those teams that are going to be in the top half of the conference. So you get a chance to maybe steal one to start. So go do it. I'm excited. We'll watch 8 p.m. on Thursday. That'll be on ESPN Plus for Utah, 8 p.m. Central Time, and then 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. So football doesn't start until night. You can tune in, and hopefully we can upset a ranked BYU team at 2 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, also on ESPN Plus. And that's always a great environment and fun volleyball to watch. They have a great announcer, kind of a legendary announcer there that knows his stuff. So he's fun to listen to. Alrighty. Unless you have something else, we'll move into football. Did you go to the football game?
I did go to the football game. I sat with my parents at the top, and the red and black stadium, it looked cool. It did. It looked really cool, and it was a really great defensive game.
I was say give us your thoughts on the game if you have them.
Yes, I thought that we came out starting really strong against Arizona State in the first quarter. We did an excellent job, I think, on offense, scoring. Defense came up huge, and I'm going to say that the entire game. Second quarter, things got a little rocky.
Feels weird to say. A little bit weird.
You're right. It's Tech fans. Second quarter got a little rocky, but we did clean up some things in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter we were just able to finish strong and get points we needed on the board. Some really good field goals up there. So we were able to hold them down.
Yeah, I agree. I thought we said at the beginning of the show that did football grow up a little bit, and that's what I kind of saw. One eye open, but I saw some growth from the staff and from the players. You talked about those field goals. There were moments where in other games we would have went for it on fourth down. And in this game, we just took the field goal. We just took the simple play. We were even slowed down the clock in that fourth quarter, because that second half, really, we kind of slowed things down a little offensively, but definitely the fourth quarter, because things got a little stagnant, like you said. And Kentley showed a lot of maturity, I thought. And he's like, hey, let's just slow things down. We got the lead. Let's run some clock. Use Taj Brooks. Just eat up the field. And yeah, you would have loved for them to eat up the field and go get a touchdown and just put it all the way out and put it to bed. But they got a field goal to go up 2 scores. When in the past, by God, we would have tried to chunk it and then go for it on fourth to try to go for the jugular or something.
Yes.
And we said, no, we're just going to run it here, get a few more yards, set up the ball in the middle of the field, and let our special teams do the work. And I was just like, who are we? I love it.
I know.
I love it. So shout out. Everyone hates on Kitley, so I'm giving him his flowers. I thought that was a sign of growth.
It was. I agree. It was a sign of growth.
It's a sign of growth. So
It was.
I love to see that. Other shout out, Jalen Conyers, cool story in this game. So he played at Arizona State, right? He's from Lubbock. He always wanted to go to Texas Tech. Everybody saw the story about Matt Wells. We won't get into that. That was crazy. But anyway, he was at Arizona State, and some coach on that staff, I don't know if it was the head coach or who, but I saw a note about this, and there's a coach on that sideline for them that told him basically, you're just not good enough to play at the Power Conference level. So he comes to Texas Tech and then beats that coach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this happened when it was at Arizona State or if this was in the recruiting process originally and this coach came from somewhere else. Wouldn't be shocked if it's the same Yahoo that was at TCU that's now at Arizona State that we roasted
Oh gosh.
the post-game graphic.
The cactuses.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocked if it's the same guy. But I thought it was really cool for a player to get to do that against someone that didn't believe in them, comes home, he scores a touchdown against them, has a really good game. So shout out Jalen. He's been really good this year. And using him in Wildcat, using him as a tight end, whatever. But it doesn't get much sweeter than we can do that and then dance a little jig, as he did. If you haven't seen the clip, we posted it on Twitter. But good stuff from Jalen. Also thought Ben Rodriguez I have it in my notes, it just says Ben Rodriguez is a dog. He was on defense. You talked about the defense. Jack Burgess, our punter, they don't get a lot of shine, but I'm going to give our punter some shine because he just kept doing the dang thing. Like, who are we? We're talking about defense and punting and field goals.
Yeah. Well, and the punter, he has some big shoes to fill because, we don't have Austin McNamara anymore. So the fact that he had a really good game punting, like, way to go.
Yeah, he's also an Aussie as well. So
okay, awesome.
He's bringing in the next great Australian import every year as a punter. So, yeah, I thought he was good. And then, I just thought the team overall showed a lot of growth. I thought Barron was under control. Had some throws that he missed here or there, but that's going to happen. And he made the throws he needed to get us out to that fast start. Taj came in and did what Taj does, really patient runner. And our offensive line held up well enough. Arizona State was undefeated coming into this game. They were not expected to do much this year, but they've been better than expected. So I think some people were a little nervous about that one, but we needed to get that win. They got it done, and now they need to get this win against Cincinnati and move to 2-0. Yes. That would be a 3-game winning streak after all the panic amongst the natives out there. All of a sudden, we could be 4-1. Math is
yes.
Hard. All of a sudden, if we can get this done, I think, is Cincinnati undefeated? They've been having a solid year unless they dropped their last
I think
game.
They dropped one. They dropped it to Pittsburgh by just 1 point. 27-28 is their second game. So
that's right, yeah.
It's going to be a good game.
They've been really good. I think their quarterback's been one of the better quarterbacks statistically this season. So another test for our defense in a different way. Arizona State's quarterback was more of a runner, which we've struggled with. And so to see us step up in that way and show that we could guard a running quarterback. Hopefully Lux will be back because we played without our starting cornerback in this one, but against a passing team, gonna need him back. I also believe Cincinnati has has a really good running back as well. They don't have Taj Brooks, but they have somebody. So should be a good game, but we got it at home. You got to take care of your home games. I don't care what the sport is. That's just the rule. If you drop
and it's a night game.
Yeah, you put yourself behind in a tough spot if you drop a home game. So, I think our record in blackout games is not great. I saw a stat the other day, but we're going to change that tide. We've been changing a lot of tides since week 2. We've been flipping the script. I mean, we're out here talking about defense and field goals and punting and slowing the game down. We're changing. Things are changing. And this week, we're going to change the curse of the blackouts. I don't even know if it's a curse because I don't know if it's like we never won, but it's just the record's not great. But that's usually because we do it for like the biggest of games, so you're always playing a great opponent. So
exactly,
you're putting yourself in a tough spot either way. But yeah, so be there, sell it out. I'm sure it's already sold out, but students show up.
I think it is. It's Parents' Weekend, so everyone will be there. Yes.
We're done. Yeah, I hope it goes better than you. I still vividly remember the first and only time my family came for Parents' Weekend, and my whole family came, my grandparents, my brother, was Oklahoma State. I don't remember which year it was, but I remember the score was like 70-something to, was it like 6? It was horrific. And my parents are Aggies, right? And so my brother was a big A&M fan. My mom was there. She went to A&M. I grew up an Aggie. but I'm full blood Texas Tech ever since I went there. So I don't even follow them anymore. But I'm like sitting in the stands, like all excited to show them my new school, and like, yeah, this is what we do with tortillas, and it's gonna be fun, and they, all these things, and like. The game was over before it started. They literally put 70 points on us in a conference game.
I think it's the game with it's the game that we use, sometimes when things don't go well, with the guy with his head down and the guns up. Yeah.
That's it. That's the one. I was there. I remember it. We stayed till the end. By goodness. It was horrible. It was just horrific. But I hope it goes better for y'all. I think this team's a little better than that one was. But yeah, good times. But yeah, that's what I got on them. Big game ahead. And then real quick, because we had it on the little timeline over here, if anyone's been hanging out for the softball content, all that is go check out the team page. One, Between Two Tumbleweeds is back. The greatest show on
Yes, I was very happy to see that it was back.
That was going to continue, but it's back. So good old Jay, their SID is back doing that. But he had Lauren Allred on the show for the first one of season 2, who is a transfer from Louisiana. It's great. It's just a very dry humor show. I guess you either like it or you don't, but I like it. I love it. And you get to learn a little personality from the players. But also, the non-con schedule is starting to get leaked out, and we've been teasing on this show that it's really spicy, and I'm just not going to say who they are until it's out there, because that should be for the team to announce. But they announced the first week of games, and so they're going to be in the, what do they call it? The something classic. It's down
an FCA leadoff classic in Clearwater.
Classic. It's in Clearwater, Florida. So if you want to go to Florida in February, there's your excuse. But we're going to play the likes of Duke, who was in the World Series last year, Nebraska, who is not typically a softball power, but hear me out. They got Jordy Ball up there in Nebraska now, who, if you aren't aware, was the best pitcher in the country. Her year, right? Then she transferred she was at OU, won a national championship, was her. Transfers to Nebraska. She was kind of the Naja Kennedy signing of last season. It was this big deal that she went to Nebraska. Unfortunately, she got hurt and missed the whole season last year. So we haven't seen her pitch in a while, but she was the best pitcher in America before she got hurt, and then Naja stole her crown last year. But they could face off. I don't know if they will, but they could. It just depends on
it says potential, so yes.
Yeah, because we play them the day after playing 2 games, so I don't know if we will. But we'll see. Maybe they each can get an inning. But they could also both hit, because both of them transferred with the idea that they want to hit more. So you could see that happen.
Right.
And then I also think Mississippi State is in that. Who else are they playing? There's a few good teams in that tournament that they're going to need to play to start the year. So it's a good test right off the bat.
Yeah, no, I definitely am excited also that we're playing the Big 12 or the Big 10 teams, because I think that we need to show that Big 12 should have had us, or that we should have been in the tournament last year. So, yeah, we need to beat up on the Big 10. They had too many teams in there last year, and they did nothing. So
yeah, we know.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we've already I think they proved that point for themselves. I do think the Big 10 is going to be better this year, because Nebraska's going to have Jordy Ball, and they got the Oregon and Washington and all that from the Pac-12, so they have some
that's
teams
right.
now.
Yeah.
But the former Big 10, listen, nobody's going to argue that they were not a great softball conference last year. So that was a joke,
right.
But hopefully we don't have to worry about that.
It was a joke, yes.
And we're not on the bubble this year, because they're going to do the thing. And tease, I'm not going to... Oh, there's an echo. I'm not going to announce it, because, again, leave that team. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Weeks 2 and 3 of the season, if they pan out the way I was told from someone, Texas Tech fans are going to very much like the opponents this team is playing in week 2 and week 3 of the season as well, if it comes together as I was told. Just know that Jerry Glasgow is not afraid to play top teams and top talent to get his team battle-tested. He doesn't care if he drops a few early games in the season. He just wants to get that team ready and understand what good talent is so they can get better by Big 12 play, and they're going to do that. So I'm excited for him. I can't wait. I'm excited for basketball. Basketball started official practice. We're going to put an article out at some point this week about it. So we got to get to basketball season. Soccer is just barely into Big 12 play, and I'm already looking forward to softball. It's just a good time to be a Texas Tech fan.
Hey, and there's fall softball games, so I'm pulling up to those. Yes, we need to go watch. So
we're gonna let you, because they're not streamed. Maybe we'll bring Tyler back post Big 12 or post fall ball schedule and let him give a little fall ball report, because you're only going to know what happens if you go to those games in person. They don't typically stream them. There's probably not going to be a box score. So they are free, typically. Go out there. And then also, when we had Jerry Glasgow on the show a few weeks ago, he said practices are open to the public. So whenever they start practicing, which I think might be now, find out when they're practicing. You can roll through and sit in the stands and just watch from hitting bombs. You're a student, Tyler, you're bored on your lunch break or want to go study in the stands, you can just roll over to the Rock, study in the stands, and watch Nyjah hitting bombs, because she is going to hit this year. And watch our other players getting better and doing all the things. So there's your tease for softball.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. All right, team. Thank you for joining, Tyler. Sibby will hopefully be back next week, y'all, to carry the vibes of the show again. But Tyler crushed it. You were great. Everyone go support him. He follows Scarlet Stampede. It's listed right there. You can follow Tyler as well if you want to give your username on social media. And yeah, just support everything that they're doing, because they're doing good stuff.
Y'all go follow Scarlet Stampede at Scarlet Stampede. We have all the social media platforms, and then follow me at Red Raider Tyler on all the platforms as well. We'll be doing some exciting content and things as we inch closer to Lady Raider basketball, and also with our takeover games as well, and marketing to all you students. So support.
Yeah, Tyler's life's about to get really busy with basketball coming. So
It
big
is.
time.
It is.
So all right, guys. Soccer's on the road this week. Volleyball's on the road this week. All you got is football. I think golf has a tournament going on right now. Maybe you can go out to the golf course tomorrow and catch them. But other than that, everything seems to be away. So if you're in Lubbock, get to the football games, catch soccer on TV, volleyball on TV, and we'll see you next week in some form. We'll be here. Until then, wreck 'em, team.
Wreck 'em.